Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to our first ever live interactive quiz. I'm David Martin from the Metlifecare sales and marketing team. Now, our CEO, Earl, sends his apologies. He couldn't be here for the start due to a meeting, unfortunately, but he is hoping to join the quiz soon, and he did want me to extend his warm welcome to everyone that's come along this evening. So soon we'll meet our host, Brendan, from Believe It or Not, and our very special guest, Shaun Wallace, who fans of TV1's The Chase will no doubt recognise. So before we start, just a few notes on how we'll operate the quiz this evening. So today we're using a webinar format. You most likely have used a Zoom meeting before, but a Zoom webinar is slightly different. You'll notice that you don't have the option to turn on your camera or your microphone, and this is just so that we can all hear the quiz without any interruptions. However, we would love to hear your questions for Shaun to answer in our Q&A session straight after the quiz. So we've already received some great questions in advance, but if you'd like to submit your own, at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a little Q&A button, which already has a red sort of call out next to it with some questions already loaded. Just please type any questions you've got for Shaun in that Q&A box, and we'll look forward to hearing his responses in the Q&A session at the end of the evening. Now, in the Q&A section, you will be able to see all the questions already posted by others. So feel free to upvote a question if you'd also like it to be answered. And you can upvote just by clicking the thumbs up icon beneath the question. And the more thumbs up a question gets, the higher it will move up the list to be answered. Now, Kate from the marketing team will be reading out your questions to Shaun after the quiz. So on to the quiz. You'll just need a pen and a paper handy to record your answers. And at the end, we'll post a link for you to send us your scores. You'll mark your own answers, so I'm sure you'll all be extremely honest when you send in your scores. And we'll announce the winners after the Q&A. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to our hosts for the evening, Brendan and Shaun, to start the quiz.
Thanks, Dave. Lovely to be here with you, everybody, and a very good evening from Lockdown 4 in Auckland. It's a fantastic opportunity to be with you all tonight. My name is Brendan from a company called Believe It or Not, and it is my pleasure to get together with some of the staff from Metlifecare to have this quiz with Shaun Wallace. Now, it's a lot of fun. This sort of thing tonight is all about just engaging with you guys. It's been a wee while, I'm sure, since you've all seen each other. So just bear in mind that we are here to have a bit of fun. It's a bit of serious fun, but it's also a chance to catch up with someone you've seen a lot on television. Shaun was out here a couple of times in the 2019, actually. He was out here twice. And he is very much looking forward to catching up with you all tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, you know him from The Chase. He is the Dark Destroyer. Please welcome all the way from Wembley, London, England, Mr. Shaun Wallace.
Good morning or good evening, friend. How are you?
Mate, I'm very well. You're looking very dapper for the early hours of the morning, Shaun. What time is it there exactly?
It's just gone 7:10 in the morning, or approaching 7:10 in the morning.
Well, you've got up very early to come and see us, so we're very appreciative. We thank you for that. And what did your weekend entail, Shaun? I imagine it involved watching your beloved football team, Chelsea, did it?
It certainly did, and my usual sort of take on keep myself fit, preparing for the chase, because this week we're back in the studio doing some celebrity versions, and on Friday I'm back to the normal show.
Fantastic. Well, look, without any further ado, let's crack on with the quiz. We can have a chat to these lovely people as we go. Just reminding everybody. Yep.
But before we do that, can I send a special birthday message to somebody who's not actually playing today, but she's a resident, Miss Joan Allen, or Mrs. Joan Allen. She's 96 today. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Joan. Lots of love and best wishes from Shaun Wallace, the Dark Destroyer. I hope you have a wonderful 96th birthday today.
How's that for a birthday present, Joan? Hope you've enjoyed that, darling. When we've recorded this too, so don't you worry. You can get your own copy a bit later on. if we crack into the quiz, and I can share my screen, and we can have a wee look at. As I said to people, that you were in New Zealand, Shaun. You came out a couple of times. We had a lot of fun.
February 2019. Then I came out again in November 2019 because the fantastic time because I was promoting my autobiography at the time, which had just checked. So.
You sure didn't. You got around a few villages, didn't you? And this particular village, Shaun, this is Titirangi's Pine Song village, and this is one of the Metlifecare villages. So do you remember this?
I do remember, yep. As you recall, Brendan, I was promoting my autobiography, Chasing the Dream, and it was fantastic. As I say, you know that I have a great love and affinity for New Zealand, and I'm looking forward to coming back very, very soon once we get through this horrible pandemic.
And that was your last stop on that whistle-blown tour, wasn't it? And as I recall, we were running out of books, and they were fighting over the last few books, and we ended up getting to sign a whole lot in London and ship them over. It was it was a good memory for me, that. And yes, these two young ladies, very keen to meet you. Get a ring on your finger, I think. They were very keen, weren't they?
They certainly were.
And just a couple of other memories from that trip, Shaun. What happened here, mate?
Oh, that's when I was on. We were flying to one of the cities in New Zealand, and I was the lolly lad. I think I'll call it that. You know, giving out the lollies on the plane and setting a couple of questions. So they gave me that certificate there, which I have a pride of place on my wall in relation to being the lolly lad, as I'll call it.
There you go. And the other thing is, we got into a bit of adventure, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. As I say, that's when we was. We had a fantastic time. We did. You and I, as we toured New Zealand, and I think
you made me jump off the bridge.
The bungee jumping when I managed to persuade you. You didn't tell your wife Belle that you were doing it, but I managed.
You didn't tell the producers of the chase you did it either, Shaun.
No, I didn't. But that's another story altogether. And that's me with one of my greatest heroes there, Sir Richard Hadley. When he came to meet me, it was fantastic. He actually came to meet me. I was just overwhelmed. And there's the ball which he took 9:52, I believe. Is that correct? The 9:52.
Sure. The ball, so you can have a look at it. And then you have my all-time favourite photo of you actually in our living room.
Yeah, that's the very first day. My very first day in New Zealand in February 2019. Actually, I so happened to be on TV that day.
You just happened to be on TV in my living room watching yourself on television. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And what I have done is I've shared the wrong screen, Shaun. So just give me a second here, fella, and we'll crack it. There we go, that's better. Okay, folks, without any further ado, we're going to do a wee quiz with you now. Now, you've got the best person on the microphone asking all the questions here, and he usually answers the questions, but tonight he is your host. So there are 5 rounds of questions. Shaun is pretty good at all of those, really. Probably if you had an Achilles heel, Shaun, which of those 5 rounds would it be?
If I had, I suppose it would be entertainment. If I had an Achilles heel in relation to those particular topics, because I'm not really good in. I'm not really interested in soaps, so I mean that comes under sort of genre entertainment. So if I had to choose one there, it probably would be entertainment.
All right, folks. Well, on behalf of Believe It or Not and Shaun Wallace and Metlifecare, let us get into tonight's quiz. So first of all, we're going to start with a round of sport. Here's how it's going to work. Shaun is going to ask you the questions. I will give you 4 possible answers, and you guys just need to write those answers down at home, and we'll go from there. So here we go, Shaun. We've got question number 1, and away we go.
See here, who is the current world #1 men's tennis player? Seen here, who is the current world's #1 men's tennis player?
You think he's still #1 after this morning, Shaun?
Yes, I do.
Now, I think you're right. That was a little bit of a clue to everybody, but that was a wee bit of an upset, wasn't it?
It certainly was, but we'll talk about it in a moment. If we can
will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close that. Oh, you need the 4 options, of course, don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, is it Novak Djokovic? Is it Dmitry Medvedev? Is it Alexander Zverev? Or is it Roger Federer? Novak Djokovic, Dmitry Medvedev, Alexander Zverev, Roger Federer. Who is the current world #1 men's tennis player, do you think? We'll give him a few more seconds. Have you ever been to a Grand Slam tennis tournament, Shaun? Been to Wimbledon?
No, I haven't actually. No, that's on my to-do list. So hopefully I'll get around to that one day.
All right, Shaun, would you like to tell everyone what the answer is?
The answer is Novak Djokovic, who sadly this morning failed in his attempt to actually match the record set by Roger Federer, Rod Laver 52 years ago, to be becoming the first man to win 4 of the major tennis tournaments in the same calendar year. He lost actually to the second option there, Medvedev, and the third option, Alexander Zverev, beat him to the gold medal. So he tried to become the first person to win, or the first male to become a Golden Slam winner. He was really unlucky.
Interesting. Well, yeah, all 3 of those in some respect have had a good year. I mean, Djokovic won 3 Grand Slams, one won a gold medal and the other won a Grand Slam. So,
yeah,
very good. Right, let's move on to question number 2.
Is this: who was the first New Zealander to collect gold medals at 3 successive Olympic Games?
Right, so this is your Olympic question, and I imagine you guys have followed this quite closely this year. Certainly my kids did. Your 4 options, folks, are this: Hamish Bond, Lisa Carrington, Sir Peter Snell, or Valerie Adams. So is it Hamish Bond, Lisa Carrington, Sir Peter Snell, or Dame Valerie Adams? Have you met any of those New Zealanders, Shaun?
I haven't. Obviously, in relation to, I've heard of at least 3 of those in that list. But once we reveal the answer, I'll tell you who I've known.
All right, folks, you need to know your Olympic Games to get this one right. We'll close that question now. Shaun, would you like, I'll give you those options again real quick. Hamish Bond, Lisa Carrington, Sir Peter Snell, Dame Valerie Adams. Shaun, would you like to give the answer, please?
I'm not sure, but I would have gone for Hamish Bond. Is that correct?
Hamish Bond is correct. Look at that. The Dark Destroyer even knows New Zealand Olympics. And that is because Hamish Bond was in the Cox Piers, 2012, 2016. Yeah. And in the Olympics just gone, what did he win, Shaun?
Wasn't he in the 8s?
He was in the 8s, that's right. Correct. And of course, the rowing happens the week before the canoeing.
Yeah.
Which means Lisa Carrington also won 3 in a row, but she was a week after Hamish Bond. So quite a tough question, but I've heard these people are clever.
Valerie Adams is the judo lady, isn't she? Does she do judo? Is it judo?
Shot put.
Is it shot put? Shot put, yeah. And obviously everybody, I know Peter Snell in relation to, he was a great athlete, so I know.
1500 metre triple gold medalist, that young fella, or 2 1500s and an 800. What about a cricket question, Shaun, number 3?
Yeah, question number 3, seen here in classic pose. Which of these players has scored the most runs in Test cricket?
The 4 options for this are South Africa's AB de Villiers, England's Joe Root, Australia's Ricky Ponting, or our very own Ross Taylor. Once again, AB de Villiers, Joe Root, Ricky Ponting, or Ross Taylor. Were you surprised they called the 5th test off between India and England, Shaun?
Yes and no. Obviously, it was driven by the fact that the IPL starting in about 2 or so weeks. So I was slightly disappointed that it was called off, because obviously we wanted actually a conclusion on the cricket field as opposed to any decision which was hastily reached initially and subsequently withdrawn because they said that England should get the 5th test because India forfeited, but that decision was hastily withdrawn, so we're waiting for the ICC to make a final determination.
Yeah, because England wins that test, it's 3-3, isn't it?
It's 2-2.
2-2, yeah. All right, we'll close that question now, ladies and gentlemen. Shaun, do you want to have a crack at who you think that might be?
I would imagine that would be Ricky Ponting in relation to that sort of classic cover drive there, looks like. So I would have said Ricky Ponting.
Yeah, you're on fire tonight, buddy. Well done. It is Ricky Ponting. Ricky Ponting he's only second to the little master, Sachin Tendulkar. Ponting 13.378. The rest of them are in as dust, really. But Ross Taylor is in 46th place in world cricket, so he's quite some distance back. Question
I
four.
think the first person to win 10,000, the first cricketer to get 10,000 runs was Sunil Gavaskar. I do remember that.
He was. Alan Border was second, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Question number 4. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Who dropped the most goals for All Blacks with 10? Who has kicked the most drop goals for All Blacks with
10 drop goals? Now, your options here, we've got a good couple of Canterbury men here. We've got Andrew Mertens, Dan Carter, Don Clark, or Grant Fox. Right, you've got 4 options.
That's going to be really, really
so
tricky.
We've got Mertens, Carter, Clark, or Fox. We'll give him a little bit. Now, you're a bit of an All Blacks fan, I understand, Shaun.
I certainly am. I've always loved the All Blacks, and I remember, following them ever since I was a little kid. I remember Sid Going, who used to be a scrum half. So I remember them from the sort of late 60s, early 1970s. So I've always been an All Blacks fan. And the day I won Mastermind, I actually wore an All Blacks t-shirt. So I've always been a big, big fan.
Excellent. Right, let's close that question now, Shaun. And the answer is?
Now, it's going to be really difficult for me because obviously I would go for the natural option, and I'm going to have to go for the natural option given the fact that he's the world record points goal scorer. I'm going to have to say Dan Carter.
The answer is, in fact, Andrew Mertens.
Okay.
Yeah, Mertens with 10. Carter had 8.
Okay.
All right.
I remember Mertens was the
3 and Bodie Barrett.
Remember Mertens was the fly half when New Zealand lost their first ever World Cup final, and he scored all the points, I believe, in the 15-12 defeat to South Africa United.
Only had kicked another couple of drop goals that day.
If only.
All right. It is Andrew Mertens indeed. Next question. Oh, this one's more to your heart here.
Oh, this is more to my heart. Question number 5. What football team has won this trophy? If you recognise that trophy, I'm sure you will. The most times, a total of 14. So what football team has won this trophy the most? A total of 14 times.
All right, your 4 options. One of these is dear to your heart, Shaun. I'm not sure it's the correct answer, but the options are Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Spurs. Which of those 4 teams has won this trophy the most? A total of 14 times. If you look very carefully, you can indeed see that there. Written on the cup, kind of a bit of a clue there, if you like. Or we'll close that question shortly. We'll close that question now, Shaun. What's the answer, do you think, Shaun? I reckon you'll know this one.
Well, they created that record on the 1st of August 2020 when they beat my team, Chelsea, 2-1. So it's Arsenal have won it 14 times. Man United are 13. So I saw somebody in the chat there thinking it was Man United, but no, they are in second place. It's Arsenal. And the clue obviously is in the ribbons there because the Emirates is where Arsenal have played their home matches.
Very good, very good. I see Chelsea had a nice little 3-0 win on the weekend. You would have been very happy about that.
We certainly, I am very happy, but it's early days. We'll see how the season pans out.
And I see Arsenal finally won a game.
They certainly did, and they finally scored a goal as well. So
I know you're happy about that too. Number 6.
Question number 6. I played a record, how many netball internationals?
I played a record, how many internationals? Okay, so you've got an option here, and your options are 140, 176, 217, 244, 140, 176, 217, 244. So your netballers are actually in New Zealand at the moment, Shaun. I think they come out of managed isolation next week or this week.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Obviously New Zealand being the world champions, having won the title in Liverpool in June 2019. So it's going to be interesting to see how the English Roses pair up against the world champions.
Very good. Right, let's go with the answer for this. Would you care to have a guess at this one, Shaun?
No, I don't know who that is, but I would say option 2. I'll go for option 2.
So the answer is 217. It is Irene van Dijk. She played 145 internationals for New Zealand, but 72 for South Africa prior to that. Put that in perspective, 217 tests. Richie McCaw played 148 tests. So she really did keep herself fit for a very long time.
Exactly. Very, very good.
Next question.
Question number 7. This stadium is in which city? This stadium is in which city?
Your options, ladies and gentlemen, are these: Adelaide, Brisbane, Perth, or Sydney. Adelaide, Brisbane, Perth, or Sydney. Shaun, have you been to any live sport in Australia? I know you were over there doing Chaser Australia for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, but I didn't have an opportunity to actually see any sort of sport whatsoever, because obviously I was there to actually concentrate and become a
the
chaser.
chase comes first.
Yeah, it certainly does. I was in Melbourne, and I think the MCG, which was about a mile away from where I was close by, but I didn't have the opportunity to actually go there.
Very good. All right. Well, we will reveal the answers to this now. There is a couple of clues there. There is someone's doing a roof walk, I see, and I see the chapel stand in the image. Now, that's definitely a wee bit of a clue. Any ideas, Shaun?
Would that be Brisbane?
It's not Brisbane. It's Adelaide. It's the Adelaide Oval. The Chapel Brothers are from Adelaide.
Okay.
Yep. It's all right. We're going to let you off that one. Australian cricket grounds, probably not in your mastermind.
No, not really. Not really. I really actually recognise that.
Yeah, the first ever pink ball test was played there, actually. I went to it. Anyway, question 8.
Question 8. Who am I?
Who am I? Righto, you've got some options here, folks, and here they come. Anna Nordqvist, Brooke Henderson, Garbine Muguruza, or Karolina Pliskova. Anna Nordqvist, Brooke Henderson, Garbine Muguruza, or Karolina Pliskova. I saw the US Open final yesterday, Shaun. I think I'm right in saying that the combined 37 years between the two finalists.
Yes. Are we talking about the men's or women's?
Women's.
Oh, the women's. Well, I mean, Emma Raducanu is just a phenomenon because she's the first ever qualifier, male or female, to win a Grand Slam, and the very first person to do so without even dropping a set. So she won 20
she's
consecutive.
British. She's British,
yeah,
mate.
she's British.
So how long since you had a British female champion?
Well, Virginia Wade was the last in 1977, and ironically, the US. The reason why it's called an Open is because in 1968, tennis actually went open to both professionals and amateurs, and the first ever US Open winner in 1968 was Virginia Wade. That's why it's called Open. And the men's Open winner in that year was Arthur Ashe, where they played the final on the Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Very good.
Yeah, so
I'm sure you're very proud of Emma. The kids were watching it. We thought it was brilliant. Here's question 9.
Oh yeah, but before we go to question 9, can we reveal the answer to question number 8?
Did we not do that?
No, we didn't. And I would have said that would have been D, Caroline Pliskova.
Yeah, it is Karolina Pliskova. Yep, quite right. She exited, I think, at quarterfinal stage. She was beaten. She was beaten by someone else. I don't think it was either of those two.
No, she wasn't. But she won the Australian Open title in 2018. And although she represents Denmark, she's actually born in Poland.
You have a wide knowledge of crazy stuff, I must admit. What about this question?
Question number 9. Which of these teams does not use a ball in the course of play?
All right, so which of these teams does not use a ball in the course of play? This is an American sport question. Your options are the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Rangers, or the Washington Wizards. 3 of those teams use a ball in the course of play. 1 doesn't. Which one? The LA Dodgers, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Rangers, or the Washington Wizards? All right. Not great on my American sport. What about you, Shaun?
Out of that option, I definitely know who the answer is. Only one of those teams plays ice hockey and you use a puck for hockey. Must be yours.
All right, Shaun, without any further ado, tell people who it is.
It's the New York Rangers.
It is the New York Rangers, that's right. The Dodgers are a baseball team. The Miami Dolphins are a NFL American football team. And the Washington Wizards play basketball.
They certainly do, sir.
1 question to go, Shaun.
The question is this. Which country won the most gold medals at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and also the most medals all round?
Okay. So basically, most gold medals and also most medals altogether. Your options are Australia, China, Japan, or the USA. Australia, China, Japan, or the USA. Got a couple of questions in the chat, Shaun. You might, Phil and Mary would like to know, how did you get your nickname?
I got my nickname, and I'm still known as, I was initially known in Series 1 and Series 2, and I'm still known to this day as the Legal Eagle because I still practice law. Bradley started calling me the Dark Destroyer, and I was somewhat, had some misgivings initially, not because of any sort of sinister racial reasons, but because of the fact that there was a former world boxing champion called Nigel Benn, and that is his nickname, the Dark Destroyer. And I was a bit worried that if I ever ran into Nigel Benn, he'd say, "Oh, you nicked my nickname," and give me a sort of right-hander in the process. So that's how I got my nickname, and it's really stuck, I suppose. But when I'm in Australia, they call me the Destroyer for so-called PC reasons.
Yeah, I know you weren't very happy about that, eh?
No.
Anyway, what's the answer, do you think, Shaun? Because it's quite tight on the gold medals. It's not.
It is tight on the gold medals because on the last day of the Olympic Games, the country in question managed to overtake China, and the answer is the United States of America.
Nice, you're right. You're spot on. You've got it again. 39 they won, 38 China, and overall, China won 88 and America won 113 medals. So, yep, they don't mess around. They don't do things by halves, that's for sure.
No, they certainly don't. No.
Right, we've got a general knowledge round coming up now, Shaun.
Good.
Let's crack into it without any further ado. Here we go. Question number 1.
Which country has the highest number of reported overall COVID-19 cases worldwide?
Very topical, of course, over the last couple of years. No one really saw this coming, did they? Is it Brazil? Is it India? Is it Spain? Or is it the USA? Brazil, India, Spain, or the USA for the most COVID cases. Chasers. Oh dear. What's your favourite quiz category? Someone wants to know, Shaun.
History, always will be.
I thought so. I was going to go down that road. I thought if someone asked me what's Shaun's favourite category, I'd be going history.
Yeah, definitely history.
What do you think the answer is for this question, Shaun?
I would have said the United States of America. Must be. It must be that.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Look, they're at 42 million cases at the moment. India has 33.5 million, so quite some way ahead. Brazil's third, 21 million. Spain all the way back in 10th. Spain led it for a wee while, though. They led it for a wee while, you know.
I think all those countries took the lead until the United States, really.
Yeah, let's not go there, Shaun.
Let's not go there. Yeah, we won't. We certainly won't. Question number 2. What does the word beatific mean?
Beatific. All right. So if you put beatific in a sentence, would you mean extremely confused, quite sad, really excited, or very happy? Once again, extremely confused, quite sad, really excited, or very happy. I imagine after 12 questions, some of the people out there tonight in Quizland have probably been all four at some point. Here's an interesting question from Heather and Tom. If you're a character in Star Wars, who would you be?
I'd probably like to be Han Solo, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. You'd be the hero, buddy. Han Solo, indeed. All right. Do you know the answer to this by any chance? Beatific?
Yeah. I was actually asked a question of this on the chase one time, so I do know the answer. It's D.
D. Very happy. Yes, indeed. If you're beatific, you are very happy indeed. Very good. Next question, Shaun.
Question number 3. How old was I when I died in 2008?
Boy, those 13 years went very quickly. How old was he? 55, 66, 77, or 88? 55, 66, 77, or 88? You know who this is, Shaun?
I certainly do. 29th of May, 1953. Made history when him and Tenzing Norgay both set foot on Mount Everest, conquering it for the first time. Now, I don't think we'll ever know who actually put their first foot there first. I don't think we'll ever know that. But I'd like to say both of them together planted their feet down at the exact same time.
So 1953, you could probably work out the answer based on that then. 55, 66, 77, or 88. What do you think?
It's got to be the latter one, 1988. It'd been 88 when he died. Yeah.
He was 88. You're quite right. Sir Edmund Hillary, ladies and gentlemen, was 88 years old.
I think another interesting fact I know about him, he used to be a beekeeper, didn't he?
He was a beekeeper, yes. What is it called? An apiculturalist or something?
Yeah, apiculturist, yeah.
Something like that. Question number 4. Now, you might not know this one, Shaun.
What was my cat called in the Harry Potter series? I do know this one, actually.
Oh, come on. All right, let's see if he knows it, folks. Your options are Crookshanks, Quidditch, Scabbers, or Thackeray. Crookshanks, Quidditch, Scabbers, or Thackeray. Go on, then we'll give us a minute, let people answer, and then you tell me what you think.
Well, that's Hermione Granger, played by the brilliantly talented actress Emma Watson, and that name of her cat in the series was Crookshanks. Crookshanks,
ladies and gentlemen, the answer is Crookshanks. Hopefully they got that right. My kids love it, Shaun. Apparently the movies are great.
Yeah, I think so. I think the movies are really, really good.
Nice one. Right, next question.
Question number 5. Which member of the family that is famous for being famous has the word meow tattooed on the inside of her lip?
You're kidding me. Okay. Here's your options. Kendall Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, or Kourtney Kardashian? Kendall Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Kourtney Kardashian.
Now, that must have been a painful experience. I mean, who would want to do that?
Well, you've got a tattoo, haven't you?
I have, but it's less sensitive on the arms as opposed to on the inside of a lip. I would imagine.
Yeah. What's your tattoo, Shaun?
On my right hand, my right arm, I've got the word mastermind, and on my left arm, I've got the words champion 2004, the year on it.
That's right. Shaun, in case you didn't know, folks, Shaun was the first ever black contestant to enter Mastermind in the UK. And the year he entered, he won.
Yeah, I certainly did, yeah.
And he wore an all-black jersey to the filming.
Grand final, yeah.
What do you think the answer to this question is, Shaun?
Oh, that is, I mean, the answer really should be is who cares? But if I had to guess, I'd say Kylie.
Kylie Jenner. It's Kendall Jenner. Bad luck. Okay. But actually, I'm going to give you a point for who cares, mate.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of people out there probably giving themselves a point for that as well.
Exactly.
Next question. What about this?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. What is nearest to your chin?
Okay, here are your options. Is it your gallbladder, your kidneys, your liver or your pancreas? What is nearest to the chin?
Wow, that is a brilliant option, actually. So if you love human biology or you're great at anatomy, then this is your question. But that's going to be hard to work out.
Gallbladder, kidneys, liver, pancreas. You have a think about that.
That's a brilliant question set by you there, Brendan. I'll have a quick think.
That one. Everyone out there's playing a game of head, shoulders, knees, and toes at the moment.
Exactly.
All their parts, right? Well, what do you think the answer is?
Well, I'm going to have to go for the largest internal organ in the human body. I'm going to have to say liver if I had to make a choice.
You're absolutely right. It is the liver. The pancreas is underneath the liver, and the gallbladder and the kidneys a bit further south than that. So you got that right. Yep. You're doing all right, Shaun.
Not too bad.
You're as smart as you look on telly.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Question number 7. Who makes these items?
Wow. Takes me back to my childhood. Your options, ladies and gentlemen: Crown Lynn, Maxwell and Williams, Royal Dalton, or Wedgwood. Is it Crown Lynn, Maxwell and Williams, Royal Dalton, or Wedgwood? Something people don't know, Shaun, is that you actually have lived more or less in the same street all your life, haven't you?
Yes, I'm talking to you from my home now. I've lived on the same road since February 1964. So I bought a house across the road from my mum so I could keep an eye on her. But sadly, she's in a home now because she suffers from Alzheimer's. We saw her the other day. So she's just turned 90 and she's still going strong.
You come from good stock, clearly. Do you know the answer to this question?
Yes, I do know that one. That is Beatrix Potter's Peter Rabbit, and that was on the sort of Royal Dalton collection.
It was Royal Dalton, and indeed it was the first Bunnykins range. It was first made in 1934.
Yeah.
All right, what about a bit of Animal Kingdom?
Now, this is going to be very, very difficult. The rear end belongs to which creature? This rear end belongs to which creature?
Have a good close look at that, folks. Is it a donkey? Is it an impala? Is it an oryx? Or is it a springbok? A donkey, an impala, an oryx, or a springbok? Have you got
I know which one it can't be, and I'll tell you the reason why it can't be based on that picture.
Right. I've kind of eliminated one as well, but it's probably not the same one as you.
No, I think it is. I think it definitely is. I think we definitely. I know you said the question, but I think we definitely. I think it definitely is.
All right, Shaun, you tell us. You can give us the answer now.
Well, it can't be a donkey because what I can see there as an animal bends down must be horns on its head. So if I had to choose one, I would say an oryx. By guess.
Shaun's going oryx. The answer, in fact, is, and did anyone get this right and not the chaser, we wonder? The answer is, in fact, the impala.
Okay. All right.
It is, in fact, the impala, Shaun. I had to tell you. Question number 9.
What is the last word in the Oxford English Dictionary?
The last word in the Oxford English Dictionary. Now, I'm going to give you some options here. Just bear with me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Is it Zamara, Z-A-M-A-R-R-A, Zamara? Is it zootomic, Z-O-O-T-O-M-I-C? Is it Zuduraska, Z-U-D-U-R-A-S-K-A? Or Zyziva, Z-Y-Z-Z-Y-V-A? Now, some of those words are made up. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of those words are made up. Is it Zamara, zootomic, Zuduraska, or Zyziva? The last word, the very last word in the Oxford English Dictionary. Not something you read every day, I imagine, Shaun.
No, I do look up the dictionary from time to time to look at what meaning the words. But
if you're going to have a guess at this, Shaun, where would you go? Give us the answer. What do you think?
I'd have to go for the last one because I know there are a lot of words which do end with the suffix ZY.
You are right. It is Zyziva. Zyziva is, in fact, a genus of South American weevils. Of course it is. You can look that up later, folks. Go to your dictionary. If it's the latest one, you'll see it in there. Last question in the general knowledge round, Shaun.
Question number 10. What electorate is this? By far New Zealand's largest. Is current MP being Reno Tirikenti of the Labour Party?
Yeah, look, I'm sure you weren't taught the Te Reo Māori in school over in London, Shaun, but that is Reno Tirikatene. But that was close.
Okay, Tirikatene.
But you're lucky you don't have to read out the options for the answer, I'll have to say. Here they come.
Okay, thank you.
Ikaroa Rāwhiti.
Wow.
Tamaki Makaurau. Titai Tokerau or Titai Tonga. Once again, Ikaroa Rāwhiti, Tamaki Makaurau, Titai Tokerau or Titai Tonga. That is in black. It is the entire South Island, Te Waipounamu, I think they call that. So ladies and gentlemen, which one do you think it is? Shaun, you've got one chance in 4. Have a crack.
I'm going to say number 3.
Let you go A, B, C, or D. How's that?
I'm going to say C.
C.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your answer for this question is, it is D, Titai Tonga.
Okay.
Titai Tonga, the entire South Island established for the 1996 general election, replacing Southern Māori. So that is the end of round number 2. We're going to move into the entertainment round quite quickly, Shaun. Christine Holtham would like to know, though, how long does a session take when you film the chase?
Well, when we do the normal chase shows, that normally takes about 2 hours. When we do the Beat the Chasers or indeed the celebrity chase, that normally takes about 3 hours because there's usually a studio audience. So this week, I think I told you, Brendan, that we won a National Television Award for Beat the Chasers, and they only just started broadcasting Series 3 on Saturday. So it's going out weekly now.
Wow. And do you enjoy the chase or Beat the Chasers more when you film? Which is the better one?
I'm just privileged and fortunate to be on the chase. So either format is just fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome. Right, we go to the next round. Entertainment, question number 1.
Question number 1. In what video are these band members dressed as housewives in drag?
Right. So I'm thinking people out there might know the name of the band. Is the song I Want to Break Free? I Want It All. Radio Gaga or We Will Rock You? Is it I Want to Break Free? I Want It All. Radio Gaga or We Will Rock You? Have you had the good fortune to have met any of these men, Shaun?
I haven't, but I've always said that Freddie Mercury was probably the best frontman in rock history. You've had some great rock, frontmen like Mick Jagger. Michael Stipe was very, very good. Anthony Candelas of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is also good. But I think Freddie Mercury was a cut above the rest.
Awesome. Right. Well, do you know the answer to this by any chance?
Yeah, I remember the video. It's I Want to Break Free.
I Want to Break Free. Quite right. Indeed it is. Yeah. Freddie Mercury on the end of a vacuum cleaner wearing a pinny, wasn't he?
It was actually his birthday. He would have celebrated his birthday on September the 5th. His real name was Faruk Bosara, and he was born in Zanzibar, which is now part of Tanzania.
Nice. Well, we move right along. Question number 2.
Question number 2. Who boycotted the Oscars in 1973, getting this Native American activist to decline his Best Actor win for him?
All right. So this is obviously a wee bit of a political one, I think you'll find. Our options are Adam West, John Wayne, Marlon Brando, Paul Newman. Adam West, John Wayne, Marlon Brando, Paul Newman. Speaking of 1973, I watched The Sting the other night with my kids. I said, you've got to watch this film. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, directed by George Roy Hill.
Yes.
yes, it was probably one of the best sort of body com movies of all time, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it actually had Paul Newman in it. We're talking Paul Newman's one of the options for the answers here.
And Robert Redford, because they were really good friends and they used to act together quite a lot, actually. But I think The Sting was probably their best collaboration.
I think so too. It won Best Picture, didn't it?
It certainly did in 73.
73, yeah. All right, and do you know the answer to this, Sean?
Yeah, I do. Only one of those who've never been nominated for an Oscar. That's Adam West, who played Batman in the TV and film series. Paul Newman won it for A Colour of Money. John Wayne won it for True Grit in 1969. But the answer there is Marlon Brando for Godfather.
That's great. Marlon Brando, indeed. Question number 3.
Question number 3. This 1995 film comedy was loosely based on what Jane Austen novel with a modern day setting of Beverly Hills?
All right, it's testimony Jane Austen history. Was it Emma? Was it Mansfield Park? Was it Persuasion? Or was it Sense and Sensibility? Emma.
Yeah, that was on TV the other day, actually.
Oh, was it? Did you watch it?
I saw the ending.
All right. Emma, Mansfield Park, Persuasion, or Sense and Sensibility? Right. Well, why does that help you get the answer, Sean?
Well, the actress in the middle should really give it away.
Okay.
That's Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
And
does that help you relate it back to the Jane Austen novel?
Yeah. Well, I knew that anyway, but it was Emma.
Emma. Well done. Yes, it was Emma. Give yourself a point, folks, if you got Emma right. Question 4.
Is this? Our 2020 #1 hit was titled what?
All right, so a duo there. Obviously, you need to figure out who they are. Was it Blinding Lights? Was it Rockstar? Was it Roses? Or was it Stuck With You? Blinding Lights, Rockstar, Roses, or Stuck With You? Sean, I think we probably won't use this question on Wednesday night when we go out to the residents.
You never know. They might be into. They might know it. They may do. They may be up on their sort of music. Let's not discount the fact that they're down with the kids.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many Justin Bieber fans of that age. But anyway, moving on. Do you know the answer? Because you know number one hits.
I know Blinding Lights was a weekend. I would have gone for D there in that relation to that chart.
Yeah, you got it right. Stuck With You. That was Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. You're spot on, Sean. Well done. Yeah. Next question.
I'm good at my number one records, actually.
Yes, you learn them for the chase. You told me.
Yeah. Question number 5. Jackie Chan partnered with what comedian in the Rush Hour film series?
All right, so guys, you've got 4 options here once again. Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, Dwayne Johnson, or Martin Lawrence. 4 options once again. Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, Dwayne Johnson, or Martin Lawrence. Emily and Michelle Bartlett have asked a question that I know the answer to, Sean, but I'll let you have a go at it. What is your favourite sport? I know.
Yeah, it's definitely soccer. Definitely.
And tell us about, you call it football, we call it football too. It's an American thing, soccer, isn't it?
No. The term comes from association football. So word sock, a sock. That's where it comes from.
Got you. Because MLS, Major League Soccer. So yeah, look, you just so the guys that asked that question know, Sean actually his 2 subjects on Mastermind were football, weren't they, Sean?
They were all football. Yeah, they were. First one was the Champions League finals since 1970. The second one were the England football games in the European Championship from 63 to 2004. And because, as you introduced me as being a resident from Wembley, I only live a mile from the national stadium, so it was FA Cup final since 1970.
Yep. I imagine you didn't get many wrong, did you?
Out of the 55 questions I was asked in the 3 rounds, I got 3 wrong.
3 wrong. 52 to 55. You're a much younger man then.
Yeah.
I see the photos, and it's obviously you, but yeah, We all get older, don't we, Sean? How about number 6? We move on. Question number 6.
Hold on. Let's get to the answers first for number 5.
I've done it again. Lucky I've got you here to check me out, Sean. Good boy. Do you know the answer?
Yeah, it's Chris Carter. Chris Tucker,
you mean?
Chris Tucker. Yeah, he played Carter.
He played Carter.
Yeah,
not to be mistaken with Chris Carter, the former Labour MP from New Zealand. No, definitely not. Well done. Next question then. Let's have a crack at it again.
Question number 6. These people are celebrated becoming the first web TV series to win the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series. For what show?
Right. So your options are Arrested Development, Game of Thrones, House of Cards, The Handmaid's Tale. Arrested Development, Game of Thrones, House of Cards, or The Handmaid's Tale. Got a question on screen, Sean. Who is your best friend on the chase?
I'm very close. I get on very, very well with all of them. But if I had to choose one, I suppose it would be Mark, because we started out together. I'll say Mark.
He's made you laugh the most, hasn't he? When he beat up a set once, you were telling me about.
Oh yeah. I just love it when he sort of storms off. I've seen Paul storm off once, but I just love it when Mark does it.
Have you ever stormed off?
No.
Of course you haven't. What's the answer to this question, Sean?
I would have said, looking at that cast there, that would be The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, The Handmaid's Tale. That was 2017, I think, was the big night.
Yeah.
All right. Question 7.
I have appeared in character in the X-Men film franchise how many times?
3, 5, 7, or 9. 3, 5, 7, or 9. James from the support office says, Sean, you know a lot of facts. Right now, what is your favourite fact?
I have no one favourite fact. I suppose if I know the answer to a question, then that's a favourite fact of mine because it's something I can remember. So there's no one favourite fact, I suppose, because I always said to you, Brendan, no information is useless.
Have you ever been on the chase and a question is wrong and you've challenged it and they've had to refilm it?
Yes, I've done that. Where it was a question in relation to a rapper, and I gave the real name, his real name, and they tried to say it was wrong, so I challenged it, and when he checked it, I was correct. So
they wouldn't have shown that on TV, though, would they?
No, and they had to give it to me.
Yeah. Oh, very good, very good. By the way, the answer to this, Sean, what do you reckon? 3, 5, 7, or 9?
Well, that's Hugh Jackman. He would have been in all the X-Men films, and plus him playing Logan and Wolverine. So I would have said 9.
You're right. It is 9. Correct. Very good. 9 times all up. He actually holds the Guinness World Record for the longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero, apparently.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Question number 8. Which of these New Zealand #1 hits was released most recently?
All right, you've got 4 options, ladies and gentlemen. They're all from the 90s. Is it Black or White by Michael Jackson? Is it The Sign by Ace of Base? Is it You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer? Or is it Vogue by Madonna? Once again, Black or White, Michael Jackson, The Sign by Ace of Base, You Can't Touch This, MC Hammer, or Vogue by Madonna. Which of those was released most recently? David, also from the support office, says, who is the best player you've ever played against in the chase?
Again, that's a hard one to say because obviously the players who have beaten me have done very, very well. So it's very, very hard to actually pick out one person. I suppose I took on one particular player in a solo head-to-head, and he beat me 1918. So I would say that he was very, very good.
Very good. Do you know the answer to this one, your 90s music?
Yeah, if I had to choose one there, because the Vogue and the You Can't Touch This was a very early 90s, and so was Michael Jackson. So Ace of Base would have been later. So I'd have said Ace of Base.
Yeah, spot on. Ace of Base 1994. Black and White was actually 92, and the other two were 1990.
Yeah.
You're holding up to our expectations so far for someone who's 7 o'clock in the morning, had to get up earlier than that, in fact, isn't it? I bet you won't know this one though.
Which 10-year-old leads a crew of search and rescue dogs in this Neon TV series?
Okay, Sean, let's see if you get this one. Is it Marshall? Is it Rocky? Is it Ryder? Or is it Zuma? Z-U-M-A. Marshall, Rocky, Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R, or Zuma? Z-U-M-A. See, my kids would know this. My kids love this sort of thing. Yeah. All right. Well, everyone out there in Metlifecare land has had a guess. What does Shaun Wallace think this might be?
Well, I do know the answer to this one because I've seen his character over here.
How do you know that?
Yeah, that's Ryder. Yeah, I do
You don't have
know.
any kids or anything. You don't watch kids TV, I'm sure. How did you know that's Ryder?
Because I've seen that character over here, so I do know that one. Ryder.
Very good. Yeah, it's Paw Patrol and it is Ryder. Well done. Just when you think you've got him, he knocks you 6. Never mind. How about this one?
Which of these actresses is the oldest?
So not the picture on screen, folks. Ignore the ladies on screen. It's just a holding slide, a holding picture. Our 4 options are Cara Delevingne, Dakota Johnson, Emma Stone, or Scarlett Johansson. Cara Delevingne, Dakota Johnson, Emma Stone, Scarlett Johansson. Did I say Delevingne right?
Yeah, Carlos Delevingne, yeah. Carlos Delevingne.
Very loose to call her an actress.
She's the actual goddaughter. She's the actual goddaughter of Joan Collins.
Oh, she is. Okay. Joan Collins still with us? I don't think she is.
Yeah, she's still.
Yes.
Her sister Jackie died, but she's still with us.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, your options: Cara Delevingne, Dakota Johnson, Emma Stone, or Scarlett Johansson. Any ideas, Sean?
Well, I would, if I was to guess, I'd go on their longevity as an actress, and out of those, the person who's been around the longest is Scarlett Johansson.
That's really good logic. That sort of tells people how quizzes think. I think that logic, because I'm just thinking of their faces. I'm thinking their four faces, and I don't know. I think I probably would have gone Emma Stone, to be honest. The answer: Scarlett Johansson, born in 1984. Emma Stone, 1988. Dakota Johnson, 1989. Cara Delevingne is a puppy. It's a young girl, 1992.
Yeah.
All right, very well done. Well, that would take us through to the next round, which is food and drink. Food and drink. All right, here we go.
Now people get on here. Question number 1. What is not in the recipe for pikelets according to the Edmonds Cookery Book? What is not in the
Edmonds Cookery Book, Sean, is a local New Zealand cookery book. We have all the local recipes handed down over generations in there.
Yeah, we've got a famous one in the 19th century called Mrs. Beeton's Household Management.
Okay.
So I think that would be the sort of equivalent to Edmonds we could see there.
I reckon you're right. Okay, the options, folks, are baking soda, egg, milk, and sugar. Baking soda, egg, milk, or sugar. Which of those would you not find in pikelets? You know what a pikelet is, Sean?
No.
It's like a little pancake.
Okay.
Like a very small pancake. You tend to put butter and jam on it or cream.
Okay.
And
I know.
my grandmother used to make me pikelets. My mother used to make me pikelets. They're very simple.
You like them, did you?
And now that you know that, what do you think's not in the recipe?
I would say eggs.
You're going for eggs? It's baking soda. There's no baking soda in there.
Okay.
That's all right. Next question. What about this one?
Question number 2. Tequila is made from what plant?
Tequila. Is it made from agave, juniper, maize, or sugarcane? Agave, juniper, maize, or sugarcane? I imagine this is straight out of the Chaser's textbook of classic quiz questions.
Certainly is a staple question, that, yeah.
Do you remember when you were in New Zealand, we went somewhere and they made a cocktail and put it on the menu and named it after you?
I certainly did. That was, hopefully it will still be on the menu by the time I get back. So
I
that
remember where that was.
I can't remember. It was. I think it was one of the South Islanders. Actually, I can't remember. But I've still got these. I've got it upstairs somewhere. The drinks menu. It's got my
drinks menu was on there. Yeah. The funny thing is, we went to so many venues so quickly.
Yeah.
It all just was such a blur in some respects. What's the answer?
Oh, it's definitely the agave plant. It's like a form of cactus. So it's definitely
you're absolutely right. That's the agave plant. Very good.
Question number 3. What celebrity chef is known as a face of Whittaker's chocolate?
Whittaker's chocolate is a famous brand of New Zealand chocolate. It's roughly nearly 150 years old, I reckon. Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver, Nadia Lim, or Nigella Lawson? Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver, Nadia Lim, or Nigella Lawson? Do you know all 4 of them? I'm thinking you might not.
I know 3 of them. I don't know. I don't know the third option.
Yeah, Nadia Lim, she's a Kiwi. She won New Zealand Master Chef. Okay. And she helped create a company called My Food Bag, and she's the face of My Food Bag in New Zealand. But is she the face of Whittaker's chocolate as well, was the question. Do you have any idea of the answer to this, Shaun?
Well, I would have gone for the obvious choice because of her sultry good looks. I would have gone for Nigella Lawson.
You're right. You picked it up. Well done. It is Nigella Lawson. Yeah, it all started in 2014 at Wellington Railway Station, where she filmed one. Yeah, right. This is a bit more classical cuisine this time.
It's a very good question. Which of these is not one of the 5 mother sauces in the French haute cuisine repertoire?
Right, so there are 5 altogether. 3 of these are in the repertoire, 1 isn't. We want to know which one isn't. Your options: bechamel, espagnol, mornay, or velouté. Wow. Bechamel, espagnol, mornay, or velouté. Good time to bring this question in, Shaun, I think. Dominic would like to know, do you ever get mind blanks where you know what the answer is, but you can't think of it and the clock is ticking? And if you do, what do you do?
That happens to all of us. It's happened to me. It happened to me most famously when I was 1 question away from winning. 6 seconds left on the clock, and I was asked this question: what is the only African country which begins with the letter K? And you know what? Just couldn't think. Time just ran out.
6 seconds.
Yeah, and I just could not think, and the time just ran out.
Ladies and gentlemen in Metlifecare land, you've got 6 seconds to tell us which country begins with letter K starting now. In Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
Okay, time's up. What's the answer, Shaun?
Kenya.
It's Kenya, by the way. It must be very frustrating.
It was, and it does happen. It happens to us sometimes. You know, you do get the odd brain freeze, and that's not because of any panic. It's just that you just can't retrieve the answer as quickly.
Nice one. All right, French haute cuisine, haute meaning high cuisine. Which of those answers do you think it was that was wrong? Not in there.
I would have said Espanol.
Espanol is one of the sources. Sorry, it's Mornay that isn't. It isn't. Okay. Mornay isn't.
Okay, the reason I would have said Espanol is that's like Spanish, so I would have said that's, yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what, the 5 sources: bechamel, Espanol, Hollandaise, tomates, and velouté. Created in the early 20th century by celebrated French chef Auguste Escoffier.
And yeah, he was known as the king of chefs and the chef of kings.
Was he? You've got a fact for everything, haven't you? You should go on the chase.
I should be. Thank you.
Question 5.
What is the main alcoholic ingredient used in making this cocktail?
The main alcoholic ingredient. Okay, options: bourbon, gin, rum, or vodka. Bourbon, gin, rum, or vodka? Shaun, if you could choose to be in a TV detective, which one would you be and why?
There's been some fantastic TV detectives. Let me think of one. I would say probably Kojak.
Yeah, Kojak. Well, you both got the bald head.
Yeah, who loves you, baby?
Who loves you, baby? Yeah, nice. What's the answer to this question 5, Shaun?
That's a Cuba Libre, I would imagine. So that would be rum.
You know what? It's rum. You got it right, but it's not a Cuba Libre. It's a mojito.
Oh, mojito. I knew it was a Cuban drink. Okay, I knew it was a Cuban drink, but
it's not. It might be the same drink, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. All right, you got it right by default, anyway. Moving on. Question 6.
Clues in a question here. Which variety of quick bread is this that has sodium bicarbonate used as a leavening agent instead of the traditional yeast?
All right, your options are bannock, hush puppy, puftaloon, soda bread. Bannock, hush puppy, puftaloon, soda bread. I imagine that little green flag is a clue?
Certainly.
Yeah, okay. Very good, righto. You have a couple more seconds to answer that, ladies and gentlemen. Bannock, hush puppy, puftaloon, or soda bread? Do you know the answer, Shaun?
Yeah, that's soda bread, as in sodium bicarbonate soda. Yeah.
True, the Irish favourite, originally cooked on a griddle. You are quite right. What about wine? New Zealand wine.
What is by far the most produced red grape wine grape variety in New Zealand?
Okay, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Merlot, or Pinot Noir. So Cab Sav, Chardonnay, Merlot, or Pinot Noir. Which of those 4 options do you think that is? You're a bit of a wine drinker, Shaun?
Not really. Not really.
Not a great wine drinker. Do you?
I'm not an alcoholic drinker. Full stop.
No, but when you study for the chase, you'd need to look up things like wine varieties and things, wouldn't you?
Yeah, grapes and things like that. So wine regions and things like that. Yeah.
Nice one. Do you know the answer to this?
If I had to guess, I'd say Merlot.
Merlot, no, Shaun, unfortunately. Central Otago, famous for. Do you know what Central Otago is famous for? Pinot Noir.
Is it Pinot Noir? Okay.
Okay. 3 times more than Merlot. Big wine in New Zealand. Again, how are you supposed to know that? You're from Britain, for goodness sake. Question 8.
Akara, Long Red, Autumn King, Chantenay, and Nantes are types of what fruit or vegetable? No, I do know this.
You know this one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a punt. It's not from Akara Long Red, which is a New Zealand one. Capsicum, carrot, potato, or watermelon. Capsicum, carrot, potato, or watermelon. All right. So which of those 4 options helped you out there?
Autumn King and Nantes.
Okay. Is that just something you knew?
Yeah.
That you squirreled away from years of research, is it?
From years of reading and,
Okay.
As I say, sometimes, the brain is a wonderful thing which stores so much information. You'd be surprised what it does store. So when you do see things which sort of trigger, oh yeah, and that's how I remember things, because if you're interested in something, you're going to remember it. So I remember reading Autumn King and Nantes.
So that's interesting, because I've got a question about that coming up shortly. What's the answer, Shaun?
It's got to be a carrot.
It is a carrot. Very good. Yeah. The Akara Long Red was introduced to the Canterbury region by the first settlers 175 years ago. Oh, here we go. I know you love your KFC, Shaun.
No, I don't actually. Remember, Brendan? Remember, I was on that program where I had to eat all those foods, and it was awful. So no, I do not.
Just quickly tell us about that show. They made you eat a whole lot of calories, didn't they, over a week?
Yeah, I had to eat a whole. Me and a group of celebrities had to eat so much calories over a 3-week period. 1 week of fried chicken, 1 week of pizzas, and 1 week of burgers. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, only 3 of us completed the program because others got either high blood pressure, problem with the kidneys, and so on and so forth. And what kept me going is that I continued actually up my training to make sure that I almost got diabetes. So
did you? Wow.
Yeah, almost.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah, in the 3 weeks. Yeah, because
Anyway, you ask this question.
I had to eat 5,000 calories a day.
Okay, it means nothing to me, but it must be a lot.
Oh, it is. How many herbs and spices does KFC claim to have in their secret recipe?
9, 11, 13, or 15. So I guess you wouldn't have a clue about this then, would you?
No, there was a very famous advert in Britain about this.
Okay. So you do know. Nice
Yeah,
one.
I do.
Okay, well, the answer to that, Shaun, is?
And they say 11 herbs and spices.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, and apparently someone knows that recipe. It's on the internet if you Google it. A friend of mine actually made it and reckoned it tasted just like it. So there you go. Next question. Last question in the food and drink round.
This round is this. Short ribs are a cut of what type of meat?
Short ribs, are they beef, lamb, pork, or venison? Beef, lamb, pork, or venison. So I said before I had a question where you were talking about carrots and things before. Someone would like to know, what are your top tips to become good at general knowledge, and how did you become so good at general knowledge?
A passion and interest of wanting to learn. Practice always makes perfect. Watch as many quiz shows as you possibly can, and see how many you get right. It's a question you get wrong, you should be remembering. That's what you'll be storing away. You'll always answer the questions you know the answer to. So, for example, 1840, the Treaty of Waitangi Day in New Zealand will never change because that's something you'll know.
Yeah, true. Well done. It was, yeah, very good. All right, short ribs, you know this?
Yes, that's definitely beef.
It is beef, you're quite right. Yeah, you're spot on. It is absolutely beef. A cut of beef taken from the brisket, chuck, plate, or rib areas of beef cattle, which takes us to our very last round tonight, Shaun. It is the geography round.
Joggers, yeah, I like geography. It's not a bad round for me. So let's go crack on with question 1.
Just a sec. Caitlin from the support office would like to know, what is your favourite part of the world that the chase has taken you to? Seeing as we're in the geography round.
I would imagine when I did the chases, both myself, Mark, and Anne, went to different countries in the world, looking at different forms of intelligence. So Japan, I would imagine, would be my go-to country.
Cool. Right, first question now, geography round.
Yep. Which of these following countries has the highest population?
Out of these 4 countries, which one has the highest population? Is it Canada? Is it Italy? Is it Kenya? Or is it Sri Lanka? Canada, Italy, K for Kenya, or Sri Lanka? A 10-year-old boy called Lockie would like to know, were you a good student at school? Did you go to university, and what did you study? What subject? And of course, that will lead into what you do now.
Yeah, I was bright at school, but I wouldn't say I was the best student because my school reports used to say Shaun would make a very good clown. So I was a sort of a joker in my class. I went to the equivalent of a university, which is a polytechnic, which no longer exists because they now merged into the sort of university system since 1992. And I got a law degree.
And you still practice law today? Not many people know that, do they?
Even as we speak, I'm still a practicing lawyer.
There you go. And you often tell me it is your greatest, it's the proudest moment. You won Mastermind, but the moment you stood up in the bar and got given your law degree, that was the moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, that still would be the proudest moment for me because as an 11-year-old boy, I was like Muhammad Ali in my class. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be the greatest lawyer in the world. And if you talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. And as I talk in my autobiography in relation to the setbacks I did have in that academic journey, but when I finally came off that academic conveyor belt, it was still the proudest moment of my life. to become.
Yeah, good. There you go, Lockie. You're only 10. You're 11 or 10, and Sean's at the same point in time. Now, Sean, Canada, Italy, Kenya, or Sri Lanka? Which do you think has the higher population?
I'd have to go for Italy there, because Italy in Europe, it has a third. It has about 65 to 70 million people, I'd say.
60 million people in Italy, Kenya 47 million, Canada 38 million, Sri Lanka 22 million. So you're spot on.
Yeah,
you got it.
Well, now we've seen this person today in one of the questions, but Mount Cook Village lies in which province? So if you know who that person is, then you know the province in question.
Your options are Tasman, Canterbury, Otago, Southland. Tasman, Canterbury, Otago, or Southland. Mount Cook Village lies in which province? How many hours a day do you study for the chase, says Angus?
About 2 hours. So at some point today, I'm going to do some 2 hours revision before I host my own Shaun Wallace Facebook Live quiz. And some people in New Zealand actually take part in that, which is fantastic. So that's going to be on 8 o'clock London time. And some people actually do take part. Yeah.
So I guess you don't know the answer to this one. Do you want to have a guess?
Oh, well, I do actually. Looking in those mountains, Mount Cook's in the Canterbury province, as I understand it.
You're right. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, the western end of the Canterbury region, indeed. Mount Cook Village is in Canterbury. Good work. Right out. Question number 3.
Question number 3. What country, the 10th largest in the world by area, would you next reach if you sailed due south from Monaco?
You get in a boat, you go due south. Do you end up in Algeria, Egypt, Jordan, or Somalia? Algeria, Egypt, Jordan, or Somalia? Emily and Michelle Bartlett would like to know, Sean, what was the funniest wrong answer you ever gave on the chase?
I can't actually recall any funny wrong answers. I would imagine one of the funniest things I've done is sometimes I press the wrong button, knowing the right answer, but I press the wrong button and it's just wrong. And I basically protested them, but there's nothing I can do about it. So
Bradley's not going to give you any help there, is he?
No, and it was on a history question, so there's nothing I could really do. And they were astonished that I got it wrong. And I said, well, I pressed the wrong button. And Bradley started laughing. Well, that's your fault, isn't it? With your big fingers.
Probably right. What? Do you know the answer to this?
Yeah, since 2011, it became the largest country in Africa by virtue of the division of Sudan. So it has to be Algeria.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Algeria. Very good. Question 4.
This statue, based on Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, is found near Lagelani Promenade in which city?
Options are Copenhagen, Riga, Stockholm, or Warsaw. Copenhagen, Riga, Stockholm, or Warsaw. Have you visited that, Sean?
The only of those countries I've been to is Riga. I've actually been to Riga. I actually did an advert for the Chase Gala Bingo in February 2017 in Riga.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let everyone know what the answer to this is, please, Sean.
Well, it could only be one answer there because Hans Christian Andersen was Danish by birth. So the capital city of Denmark is Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is correct. Well done. Bang on. Next question, number 5.
Question number 5. Depicted below, which US state borders most other states?
Which US state borders the most other states? Options are Iowa, North Carolina, Tennessee, or Texas. Iowa, North Carolina, Tennessee, or Texas. Got a question from Haley, Sean. Haley would like to know, are you friends with the rest of the chasers outside of the show? And who from the cast would you be most happy to have a beer with? And why? Well, I think your answer there lies in your Tuesday night activity, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tuesday nights I quiz in the Quiz League of London team, the Grey Monks. So I play with Paul. I'm in Paul's team. So I see Paul the most out of all of them because Paul lives in London. He lives in Croydon. Anne lives on the outskirts of London now, although she originally lives in Manchester. And Jenny's now moved down to London from Bolton because obviously it's close to the chase. Mark still lives in the sticks, for want of a better expression. So he still lives in Herefordshire. And Dara lives in Oxfordshire. So I suppose I'd go out for a drink with any of those guys and girls, but I see Paul.
So you go to a quiz on a Tuesday night with Paul, the cinema man.
Yeah, every single.
So I imagine no one else has much of a shot then, really, do they?
No, I don't know about that because the Quiz League of London is probably one of the best, toughest quiz leagues in the world, and they've got some really, really good players. Most of the eggheads play in the quiz league. So, and that's our sort of rival quiz TV team.
So that pub quiz must be Quizzing Hall of Fame stuff.
It certainly is, and you know, we the Grey Monks team I played for, we won the championship in 2017, and we finished third most years because the standard.
There you go, see, folks. 2 chasers on 1 pub quiz team, and they still don't win.
Yeah, see? Still don't.
You can do anything. Are the answers to this, by the way? Do you know?
Yeah, T has most 8, I think it is.
Sorry, you just broke up there. What did you say? What did you say?
Tennessee, I would have said.
Tennessee, you're right. Yeah, Tennessee. Tennessee and Missouri both have 8. Missouri wasn't one of the options, obviously. Iowa has 6. North Carolina and Texas have just 4. We've got 5 questions left.
Oh, Missouri has 8 as well, does it?
Yeah, Missouri has 8 as well.
Okay.
He'll be looking that up afterwards, folks. He's counting them, right?
Question number 6. In which city is this building?
Is it Barcelona? Is it Hamburg? Is it Lisbon? Or is it Venice? Barcelona, Hamburg, Lisbon, or Venice?
Well, if you recognise that famous building, you should get that.
Somebody says, strangely, Shaun, my wife wants to know if you are single.
Yes, I am actually, but I don't know why. I am single.
There's a Shaun Wallace admirers page. I've seen that on Facebook. That's hilarious. My goodness, that's hilarious. I don't know if you don't want to go on there, buddy. Oh,
no. I've never seen
What's the answer to this question, Shaun?
Well, that's Antonio Gaudi's famous unfinished Sagrada Familia, and that's in Barcelona.
It is in Barcelona. You are right. Question 7.
Question 7. You will see this sign if visiting which country?
Is it Latvia? Is it Russia? Is it Slovakia? Or is it Sweden? Okay. Fotografera, bilder, descriva. Yeah, no, I'm not very good at my languages like that, but anyway. Shaun, if you could be on any other game show, which one would it be? People need to read your book and they'd know the answer to this, wouldn't they?
In terms of as a contestant or as a host?
Yeah, well, the other question next to that says if you actually got the chance to host a quiz show, which one would you choose to be the host of? Now, I know the answer to that one.
Let me answer the first one then. If I had a chance, which I can't do now, the one show I'd love to have been on would have been Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Because I would have fancied my chances of winning £1 million.
Okay, yeah.
And to answer the second question, I was in the running. I just missed out on being the new host of Mastermind. So I was interviewed for the job and I just missed out.
Still time, Shaun, still time. What's the answer to this question?
Well, looking at that writing or those words, it can't have been Russian because you would have seen it in Cyrillic. So I would have gone for Swedish there.
Swedish. You are right. It is indeed Swedish.
Question number 8. Which landlocked country's flag is this?
Which landlocked country's flag is this? Botswana, Estonia, Guyana, Vietnam. Botswana, Estonia, Guyana, or Vietnam?
And the clues in the options there.
All right. How did you end up being chosen on the chase, Shaun? Because
in October 2008, I went for an interview. They went along for an interview. They asked me 30 questions. I got 28 out of 30. They initially asked me what was I doing quizzing wise. I told them I've retired because I had retired by quizzing by then. And it so happened to coincide with me being on Are You an Egghead? So I said to them, look at that and use that as my audition, and I left. And a day after me being seen losing the grand final on Are You an Egghead, I was in front of an ITV commissioning panel.
Was that intimidating?
That was in 2008, December 2008.
Was that intimidating?
No, not at all.
Really? You're a lawyer, aren't you?
Well, remember, I'm trained as a barrister, and if you can win mastermind, then being in front of ITV panels not going to be daunting. And it was such an easy exercise. I think I knocked out all. It was just like a conveyor belt. They were sending on contestants. Next, next.
Good for you. Right. What's the answer to this, Shaun?
Well, as I say, the clue was in the options because only one of those countries is landlocked. The rest are on a coastline. So it's A, Botswana.
Botswana, you're right, sir. You're right. 2 questions to go.
What is the most northernmost point of the North Island mainland called?
The most northernmost point of the North Island mainland. Options being Cape Reinga, Cape Maria van Diemen, Cape Palliser, or North Cape. Cape Reinga, Cape Maria van Diemen, Cape Palliser, or North Cape. The farthest north that you've been, Shaun, was Whangarei.
Yeah,
we went up to Whangarei, didn't we?
Which you spelled with a WH at the beginning, Whangarei. And I remember when I was there, I kept to call it Whangarei, and I said, "No, Shaun, it's Whangarei." So I do remember that's what stuck in there.
Whangarei.
Yeah.
Whangarei.
And I remember that was on highway number 1, wasn't it, as we were going north?
Yep. And you literally got off the plane and off we went from memory.
Absolutely.
You won't know the answer to this, will you? What would you guess?
If I had to guess, I'd probably guess D. If I had to guess,
North Cape. Well, Shaun, you'll be surprised right now that there's a bunch of people out there that think you've got this wrong and they've got it right, but in fact, you have got it right. It is a false premise. Yeah, it's a false premise. Cape Reinga is the northernmost point of State Highway 1, but it's not the northernmost point of the North Island because that belongs to North Cape, which is 3 kilometres farther north than Cape Reinga. And a lot of people don't know that, but you do, apparently.
Well, that was just a guess, lucky guess. Sorry.
Lucky guess. Last question.
If I drilled a hole directly through the centre of the earth from Auckland, I would pop up in which city?
4 options, folks. Beijing, China, Istanbul, Turkey, Jerusalem, Israel, or Seville in Spain. So you've got China, Turkey, Israel, or Spain, Beijing, Istanbul, Jerusalem, or Seville. Now imagine if you look at that globe, you can probably have a bit of a crack at this.
Yeah.
As you spins past. Yeah. Shaun, do you want to have a crack at that answer?
Well, I'd have to go for the percentage answer there. I'd have to say the Spanish option.
Why did you do that?
Because antipodes means directly opposite pole. Poles directly opposite. It actually means opposite feet, actually. So if I was drilling with probably one of the most southerly cities in the world, going up north, I'd probably end up in somewhere in Europe, I'd say.
Shaun, you're absolutely spot on. It is Seville in Spain, and boy, oh boy, has that illustrated to us tonight exactly how your mind works. Oh my goodness, indeed. Shaun, that was fantastic. Right now, I'm just going to get Kate just to come in, I think, and just explain how how you're going to do your scoring, and then we're going to do a little bit more of Q&A. I think that's right, isn't it, Kate?
Hi there. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I've been monitoring the chat and listening to my children screaming answers. So it sounds like the questions were very well received. And I've had a few notes saying how blown away people are by how much Shaun knows, which is not a new thing, but maybe a new thing to some of our audience tonight. So thank you very much. Just to let you know, in the chat over on the, if you click on the bottom, there's a little chat speech bubble, and within there's a link that says metlifecare.co.nz/quiz scores. If you go in there and very honestly put in your score out of 50 for tonight, we will draw some prize winners and we'll announce those tomorrow. So www.metlifecare.co.nz/quiz scores. There's a little form on that page and you can submit your scores. I've got a thank yous, and that was fun. Thank you guys for taking part. Well done to Adelina and Joe, who knew that they got the Kenya question in split second time. So impressive to watch that in the chat too. We've got a couple more. We've got time for a couple more questions. Brendan, do you want to have a look in there and see what else you want to read?
I've got a few ready to go, Kate, if you like.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more and then we'll wrap it up. But thank you so much.
So what people don't know tonight is Shaun is giving away a copy of his book, a signed copy of his book. And at the end of this Q&A, Shaun is going to have a think about who he wants to give that book to. So it's going to come down to which question intrigued him the most. Shaun, how similar are the on-screen personas in the case to the real-life personalities of the Chaser?
It's a completely different persona. When I'm quizzing, I'm there to win, and I'm dead serious. And I don't smile. I'm not there to smile. I'm there to win.
Not there to smile. Yeah. Well, what about Mark and Anne and all those guys?
I would say they. If anybody has a closer persona to their real life, I'd say it was Mark. If anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenny seems really lovely. Paul seems really nice.
Yeah, and so does Dara, the new Chaser, as well. So.
Yeah, we haven't seen Dara all that much. Maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe more. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when we do these little shows of ours, everyone should be watching the Chase. Instead, they're watching you. What was your first job, Shaun?
My first ever job. I suppose I was working in the Wembley Market in the early 70s, because I was about 14 then and I wanted to buy some clothes, and I was paid £3 an hour working a 10-hour shift every Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, that was hard.
That's not in your book. Is that in your book? I don't remember reading that.
No, I didn't mention that. But couldn't mention everything.
There's a young lady out there watching called Phoenix, and she wants to know your favourite flavour of ice cream.
Strawberry.
Strawberry, there you go, Phoenix. Nice and easy. Do you get a commission for beating the contestants? So do you get paid more or less depending on whether you win or lose?
No, we get a flat fee. When we compete as a matter of professional pride.
Okay.
If that was the case, I don't think anybody would watch the show, because the show would be such a complete failure, because the Chaser would win all the time.
Who is the smartest Chaser? Somebody wants to know.
We're all very smart in our own right, but if I had to choose somebody, it'd probably be Paul.
Paul, yeah, okay. We've done that one. We've done that one. Actually, all the questions we have actually answered. Shaun will be back in New Zealand, and we will definitely look after our Metlifecare family. We will come and see you guys again. We've been to Pinestone and Titirangi, but we'll find another village to pop into for sure. Look, it's been fantastic. I can tell at this point that Shaun needs to go and have a bit of a nap. You've got to remember he is approaching that OAP age, folks, and he's got up nice and early to chat to us today.
Approaching, I'm in it, son. Approaching, thank you. I'm in it.
Oh, OAP's over here at 65, Shaun. You're not there yet, mate.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is us for tonight, unless there are any more questions coming in from Shaun. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on behalf of Metlifecare, Shaun, and believe it or not, thank you so much. And look, we will be doing this all again. And thank you so much. Kate, was there anything you'd like to finish with?
Oh, just one last thing. We'll be back on Wednesday for a quiz, including our residents as well, but staff are very welcome to join us, and friends and family. So we'll be waking Shaun up again on Wednesday. Sorry, Shaun. But thank you so much, everyone. We've really appreciated it.
Yep, and just to let you know that the quiz on Wednesday will be very much pointed towards the older age group, guys. So you're not going to have your Justin Biebers and your bits and pieces like that on Wednesday, I'm afraid. It's going to be a good solid history, isn't it, Shaun?
Yeah.
Good as gold. But he's a tired man. Shaun, we'll let you go. Thank you for spending your night with us tonight, sir. And we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
See everybody Wednesday.
Thank you, Shaun. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Shaun. Okay. Are you happy?